Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Brogan and today we are doing a simple signals video. We are doing BONK today. Going to be looking at the 4-hour time frame because this is a public video. We do go into the lower time frames if you are watching a members only video. We sometimes release the members only videos after the fact when the TA has obviously been there, done that and whatnot. But you know, if you do want to see some more live action, up to date TA on the shorter time frames, then do consider going to our members area. We might have a link in the description. If not, you can see a join button right next to the subscribe button. And if that subscribe button is red, then you know what to do. Click that subscribe button, like, notifications, all that sorts, so you know when we upload. Yeah, for today we're doing BONK. I do also have to preface that none of this is financial advice. None of this should be taken with any sort of seriousness. This is me going off data and patterns and all that, you know, goodness. This isn't anything, you know, this isn't set in stone. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not, you know, a psychic reader. I don't know anything. Please do your own research. That's about it for that. And we do have some links in the description for Fairdesk, which is we are partnered with, which we have here. So do go to the description, check it out. There'll be more information if you do go to the links. You can sign up there, sign up to my copy trading, which we do have, I believe, linked up. When I do get that up and running and properly sorted, then that is going to be a very consistent thing. What I'm going to be doing, I will be updating you guys on our Telegram. So also in the description, go down there. I think maybe one of the 6th links down there would be our Telegram link. Do go join us on Telegram as well, because that is where we are most active in terms of talking to our community. So also do try and check out the Telegram. I think that's about I think we have like 15 things I've got to say, so I think I've said everything. And I think I'm just going to get into another thing. You might notice some very interesting. Also, my camera is very yellow. I don't know what's going on with my camera, so sorry about that if it is a bit odd for you. But also, you might notice something very different on the screen today. You might notice something. What is that? In these beautiful purple lines or pink lines and these yellow lines, which are conveniently the colour of the Crypto Warehouse logo, which is I can never point properly down there. Or another thing I forgot to say. We're 2 minutes 44 seconds in. I still have 4 things to say. Top left hand side on the screen, you'll see the time, the date right now of the video currently recording, and the current ticker price, because my big head is covering that right now. But you might be noticing on the screen, what is that absolutely quality looking indicator on the screen, which is being used? Well, this is simple significance. This is our tier. This is our indicator. This is Crypto Warehouse's indicator. You've got Crypto Face, I believe it's called, and Market Cipher. Yeah, the 2 pairs there. You've got other people and their indicators, and then you've got Crypto Warehouse and simple significance. So this is an auto drawing support and resistance bands, which have the nice colours of our Crypto Warehouse logo and our theme. You can also go to settings. There are other things to change. Some sort of strengths, the distance in terms of how many bars and ticks it goes back. Obviously, if you go back, it's in the extended drawing of it. That is also a setting you can change for expanding it, which will take it to where it draws to. So you can see it is a couple bars back. You can't go on trading view. You can't infinitely go back in terms of bars. It'd also be very useless considering you need a certain time frame for the support and resistance bands. So I'm going to turn that back on. But yeah, this is our indicator. So if you do want to get some information on that and how to get it, if you do want to get it, do go to our Telegram. I will be answering questions about it if people do want it. If you do TA yourself, I think it's very useful. Obviously, it depends what range you draw. If I go to to show the accuracy of it, I'll try and demonstrate the accuracy if that appears. Yeah, so there is an accuracy. It does use an algorithm of an overall algorithm, which basically sorts it to try and get the most accurate and general area. And as you can see, it does follow them pretty well. So if you do want to check that out, I'm done with the advertisement now. If you do want to check that out, go to our Telegram, which is also in the description, like I said, to check that out. Let's just get straight into drawing everything and seeing where the price of BONK is going to go. So there's been a lot of downage pumpage, a lot of falling recently, very recently actually. Bitcoin's kind of testing 39,000 or testing the 40,000 support beam, I suppose you can call it. This is very similar in terms of BONK is testing its 00001, 10, let's call it 10, the 10 value. It has tested it numerous times now. But I'm going to draw some lines. So we do have this line here. And up here we do have some liquidity up here, which I do actually have. Actually, I haven't saved it, but we do have. I am trying to incorporate more systems of drawing TA and analysing the price action, and one of them is some ICT concepts, which is the In-Circle Trader. You can go check him out on YouTube. He's a very good trader. Everyone does, he's quite well renowned in terms of his TA methodology because he's been doing it for 30 years. So I am trying to incorporate some of his methodologies alongside the methodologies we do use, which is also fabled on the crypto warehouse, within the crypto warehouse community, and our investments. So, BONK, we can see we do have some support and resistance lines kindly provided by our simple significance indicator. We can see we have dipped below this support beam. Obviously, we do have areas on simple significance which you can lessen. You can't do points. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. You can lessen them a bit, but I like having to, just so you can see kind of the area. Because as I've said on stream a couple of times, volume areas it is an overarching, like a mountain. It's not just a single line of volume where there'll be buy and sell orders. So you do kind of want a range in which to kind of test it. So for example here, we did test this exact line down here, we've been testing it, but we also are within ranges when we refer to support and resistance. They are kind of beams of varying strengths. So for example, we bounced directly off this line here, which is the upper end of this support zone. So, it's not just a scenario where we have one line and that's that. So I did want to have these zones here. So we do have this zone, which we have seemingly kind of broken below, right here with this 1091 price point. Isn't too far away from where we are right now, but we have printed twice below it now. We were testing it here, we tested it here, we bounced off it, but we were able to come below and print two candles out right below this volume point. Like I said, we are in a range, so we could see, let me draw a line here. We could see a line at 1033 where we could bounce off. Considering the market cipher, let's have a look. We are very, very oversold. As you can see, we've crossed this the arbitrary 60 line. I like to call it the arbitrary 60 line. The last time we saw this was around here. It didn't really play out. Obviously, the prices have been a bit varied over the last couple of days because of this. We've had a significant buy in terms of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's kind of the deciding factor of the market, and we have had a lot of Bitcoin buys. We have about 30,000 within the new ETF system in place. I am actually seeing. I'll get into the ICT methodologies soon. There we go. We do have a fair value gap here, which we have kind of tested, but we hasn't really fulfilled yet, which I'm going to point as considerance, or something to consider as a price point, which we could see as resistance. Anyway, back to the ETF. As I was saying with the ETF, is that we've had like 30,000 Bitcoin in terms of its buy, which if you know anything about economics and the normal regular supply demand graphs, when there's a lot more demand, when demand rises, obviously through this new system of ETF, when the demand rises, it's like, okay, well the price should be going up due to there being a lesser of supply. It's extending on the demand line, which if you were to draw an X like that would mean a higher price point. However, there's been a lot of sell-off. I believe it's the GBTC sell-off because Gary Gensler, he basically had to sell into USD to convert it onto a new platform. So there's been a lot of sell on Bitcoin, even though there's been so much good news and so much positivity. We basically have to get out this trough of high sell-off in terms of GBTC to get out of this situation. And seeing as though we always say on stream as well, Bitcoin is such a big playing factor in altcoins and different coins is price movement, especially altcoins and meme coins, that when there's so much negativity on the outside of Bitcoin, it means that whenever you do TA or anything like that on some of these graphs, a lot of things don't make sense. And that is because of the fact that there's so much external factors affecting the price of Bitcoin, which is in turn affecting the sentiment of the market, which is also making a lot of these other graphs make no sense. But that's the explanation over. I was just kind of explaining why we are going down. And where we're going to go in the future. Okay, so we are edging towards this line, which I pointed out. Now we have seen it some bounce off here sometimes. We do have some buy-side liquidity over here, which is the range of our support system here, which is the yellow. We can change this, obviously, but like I said, this 2% padding of support, it does coincide with the fact that when you are taught about, okay, so you find your support and resistance zones, and when you're going into an investment, you do want some padding in terms of, okay, well, if I need to short, I'm not going to short exactly at this support point, I might short a bit lower. Well, that value might be an arbitrary number of 2%, let's say. Give it 2%, people are starting to long over here, which is giving a lot more buy pressure, bringing the price up. So, that is, you do want, like I said, with the ranges. So this is our buy-side liquidity. If we were to dip here, we'd go up, which we have seen here. We were dipping down, and then it brought us up. We do actually have this gap here, which hasn't really fulfilled, which is also something to consider. So we could see our price move upwards and probably bounce off the support beam here, or sorry, it's not beam, the support at 1091 here, considering this hasn't really done much here. As you can see, the fair value gap is basically this when you have a huge imbalance in the price movement, and you kind of have these 2 wicks here and this gap in the middle from this second wick. So it's a 3-wick pattern basically, and basically you extend out this value gap, which is unsucceeded placements of value, but we have seen price move here, which hasn't really played that out. So I don't really think this box of fair value gap is really going to do anything. So I still think we are going to continue to 1032, probably breaking below it, probably bouncing again off of 970, which is again similar to how Bitcoin has been, where we broke 40,000. I believe we broke 40,000 and tested 39.9 something, whatever it was. So similar with BONK, we have this price point here, and we are testing this lower point, which is below this 10 line. Obviously round numbers and whatnot are considerable price points in terms of natural price points. Okay, well, where can the price go? It might not be in terms of, you might not see this price point in terms of the volume, in terms of buy orders being at 10. However, it is a natural number. It's a round number. There is going to be conflicting, buying and selling there due to the fact that it is a natural number. So do always bear that in mind as well. So where do I see BONK going? Okay, let's draw some fib on one of these swings. So I'm going to do this swing here, which we are currently in now. Actually, because I don't want to draw it over this swing because we've already retracted so much, so I'm not going to consider it. I also don't want to do a live price because it makes no sense. So I might have to do this swing here. Okay, well, I do have the golden pocket. The golden pocket is not really applicable right now. Let me change it quickly to default. There we go. Okay, so we have our default Fibonacci right here with our fib levels. Let me hide this support for now so I can actually see what's going on properly. So we do have, conveniently, oh no, this is a swing. Stupid. I forgot. I just immediately forgot that I drew our fib here. I was like, oh my god, it lined up so well. We do have, obviously, fib. I always like to look at see if the price is accurately following these fib levels, which it does seem like it's doing. Here, for example, this 1.6 price point, it does seem like fib is being respected, as you can see here, this area over here. Yeah, we do have this buy-side liquidity. So we do have a support point at 969, which we did see symbol significance was telling us around 911. Obviously, there was padding here, which does accurately reach 965. So we do have support point at 965. I think we might see something at 1030 as well, this support point. Again, the question is now, how accurately are we going to be able to suggest if we're going to break below it or not? Well, I think we could bounce off here, as we have numerous times. I think we might bounce off 1030 here. if we were to break down, would only really go down a slight bit. Actually, it's not really a slight bit. It's about 7%. Obviously, the value of BONK's a bit low, considering the fact that this is a 7% move of this tiny little area here. However, I think we could move upwards. Probably see ourselves enter this fair value gap. If we reach 12.39, roughly 12.39, we could bounce below again, or break below again. Yeah, I mean, there's no market structure shift. I'm seeing, actually there kind of is. We can see here that we have this structural shift here, as we had lower lows, lower highs, sorry, and the price was naturally moving downward. We had this here, but that doesn't really matter because we already entered it in this scenario. As you can see, we had this situation which then we broke below and we entered back into this fair value gap, which completely broke us down. So that's already occurred. So you can't really use fair value gaps twice. Looking back, we do have this market structure shift again here, as this price is higher than this price, as we continue this downward trend. So the next fair value gap after that is around here. Obviously, this is a considerable fair value gap. This is over here. You could slightly call it a fair value gap, but it's nothing really considerable. So I think we might reach this price point, which we did see here. Let me draw a line here. So we did see resistance here, and did break and then bounce below it. We couldn't break. Obviously, we broke above it, but to reiterate, it is a price we have seen some resistance at previously. We kind of saw it down here as well. Again, price points, they're not just a specific price, there can be a range. So, this, for example, it is a range here. We had varying, wick sizes. So I think, which is, and this price point is roughly the same as this fair value gap. So I think we could see ourselves reach this 12.39 price point and just bounce below again. But again, to consider this 1091 price point is now going to be resistance, as support turns to resistance. So I think we might bounce off this price point, go up. To consider market cipher into the scenario, we are seeing ourselves be heavily oversold. So we probably might round out here and start to become more bought due to how oversold we are. But I do want to say this. And this is why I haven't done, on some days I haven't done any tier videos, is because of the fact that the market has been so rough due to the fact that there's so many external factors playing, that market cycle will be telling us, okay, we're really oversold now, we should start to round out. And even here, for example, we start to round out. We're at this huge line, especially back here. This was a really bad situation. But we're at this situation where we're just hovering at being overbought or hovering at being oversold, and we're kind of we're either oversold or overbought for a long period of time due to the fact that there's not a natural movement of the market because of what's going on with Bitcoin. So what I'm seeing is, let me get the pen out. What I'm seeing is we don't seem to. Why is that blue? That's awful. There we go. It is then. There we go. So I am seeing that the money flow is starting to round out. We do have a positive gradient on the VWAP, but it's not quite in the positive, which is what matters more. It's not where, obviously it does matter how it's moving because it is volume weighted. Average price is the price, obviously weighted based on average over a period of time. So, it does technically matter of what distance, but in terms of market cipher, as using it as confluence, it matters more so if it's above or below the zero line. Money flow looking like it's starting to round out. Obviously, it's not very strong. However, we have had terribly high, suck outage of money, if you call it. It's very down, very far down. Near the negative 40s, negative 40s, which is especially over here. These wicks, not these wicks, but these distances away from zero for money flow is quite a considerable factor. That the higher you throw a ball, the further it has to fall, or the further down you put a balloon in water, the more it's going to shoot back up. And that's kind of the situation here, where you have these really high movements of momentum and money flow that when it starts to round out, it's going to absolutely shoot back towards the zero line. And again, I do reiterate that gradients matter more so. Or the gradients matter just as much as where it is. or how far away it is from the zero line. So we're going to have these huge movements, and it might have this huge, like an absolutely gigantic momentum wave, or positive momentum wave, go back upwards towards the zero line, that the price is going to absolutely shoot up. So the way I see things going is, I think we could hopefully, depending how Bitcoin goes, if we do break 40,000 and start to break below, that is going to absolutely tear everything down. And that's why, again, like I reiterated, how dodgy the market's been. Doing TA, it might not matter because of how external factors might affect prices. It might not matter what I say right now because something could happen and all the prices are going to go below. So, like I said in the start of the video, none of this is financial advice, none of this is set in stone. Things change all the time. But where I see it's going, I see our VWAP crossing the zero line, money flow starting to go positive. Obviously, we're so oversold to start to see our wave go positive again, and kind of go towards the more bullish side of things. We probably might. Let me get this. This is going to be a resistance zone, and I think we had this huge wick here. That I think we could probably see some sort of breakage of this. I mean, it's not very. It was quite strong down here, we can see, but we kept on breaking above, breaking below it. So it's rough to say because we have seen a lot of action at this price already in terms of kind of just crabbing at this price. Because if we just broke it, really easily, we did break it quite easily. Obviously, this is a huge pump, but if it was a price point which we saw, 2 wicks, bounce off it and it just broke up, it's not going to be a very strong point. But since we saw so much action, we've seen so much like sideways action, especially over here in this time frame of a couple of days. This is a significant price point. So, just considering the fact that we broke it, must mean okay, it's going to be quite hard to break above it again. So the way I see it is we have this. Let me get the percentage measurer if I can, please. Nope, hold on. Let me lose this instead. There we go. So we do have this about 6% range for BONK. I see coming in the future. Like we already have bounced off this price. I see this price staying for a bit. If we do break above it, I would suggest we could see prices upwards of 12.36 before we start to break down again. Obviously, we're not going to go in a straight line, but I do think that 12.39 is going to be a considerable price for BONK. Again, I mean, fair value gaps, they're not set, they're not 100% accurate, or they're not 100%. They have to happen. So we could continue to see above this, but this is an unanswered area of liquidity which we could see some sell at. So I just want to point that out, that this isn't a golden significant point. No indicator and nothing is going to be completely accurate 100% of the time. There's always going to be win and loss. That's why no matter what trade you take, having a stop loss is always very important, because nothing, you can't predict the market. Things can always happen. So as much as I'm ranting on about this value gap, it could always not actually play out how it's supposed to. But if we do start to see this mid-range of the fair value gap and we do hit it, I think we could quite easily break down again towards the lower prices. But I think that's about it for BONK. I think we're gonna go up. Because we have bounced, I don't know if we're going to break. I think that there's a lot for us to start, rounding out. On market side for B, I think there's a lot for us to start rounding out. I think we are going to round out and start to become bullish again. But as I say that, I do want to preface Bitcoin. If we go to it quickly, I think this might be a bit of a messy graph. Okay, that's rough. Okay, so we have actually broken below it. We're really rough. That we are actually, if I go to the 15-minute, it might show us a bit easier. We are bouncing off this 40,300 price point. We have broken below 40,000, which isn't very good. We are starting to wick back up again, but like I said, a lot of things. I'll go back to here. There we go. So a lot of things. Actually, let me go back to the 15-minute, because we started to see a green wick back up towards a different price point, obviously, because remember, it's a ranging time frame. But again, like I said, it does matter if Bitcoin holds 40,000. But if we see multiple wicks over, like a couple of hours of Bitcoin being below 40,000, and it confirms that Bitcoin has now broken its 40,000 support point and is now in the 39,000, 38,000s, then this price point could easily break, and we could see ourselves completely go down. But you know, if Bitcoin does behave, we could see, like I said, we could see up here, around here, this fair value gap here. Let me go to 4 hours, probably a bit easier to see. There we go. We could see this price point here, which we saw just a bit ago, a couple of days ago actually, and actually no, like a week ago. No, not a week ago. Yeah, only like 4 days ago. But I think that's about it for BONK. It's been quite a long video. There's a lot for me to preface, a lot for me to talk about, and a lot for me to, you know, kind of explain during this video. So I hopefully this is hopefully the TA was good. Again, with public videos, I have to edit it, I have to upload it, so I don't know how fast it's going to get up in time for someone to take this trade. If you were to take the trade, not financial advice. Again, depending on what time you're watching this. Remember, it's 8:53. You can see top left up there. That, you know, in let's say 2 weeks, this is not going to matter. This is probably not going to matter because this was ages ago. You know, if you're watching this 2 weeks ago, or if you're watching these 2 weeks in the future, then this isn't going to matter. But what does matter is going to our Telegram, checking out all of our socials, do check out the members area, because we do specific videos there for members only people, which we go into the lower time frames as well in more detail, where we do actually use different and ranging methods of TA to truly get the best kind of scenario out of the price, and to truly give as much confidence onto a trade as possible. Again, not financial advice. Another thing, Fair Desk in the description, goes up to that link. I think it explains everything there. Do go sign up. We both benefit from that. And copy trading account, do search us up, Crypto Warehouse on the copy trade, where you can invest in our investments, and we both get a good share of that as well. So I think that's about it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Good luck. Good luck with this awful market. I think Crypto Life has said this as well, but this is like one of the worst markets. I've not been doing TA my whole life. I think taking it seriously and doing it in terms of content, and actually doing it in terms of a service for, you know, social media, and for myself, I think I've been doing it, you know, properly for about 6 months. So I'm not saying I'm an old timer in terms of the crypto market or markets in general. However, from what I've heard and what I have experienced previously and now, this is a very hard market to try and, you know, grasp what's going to go on due to the fact there's so many external factors and things going wrong. Thank you so much for watching. It's 27 minutes. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.